We're in Vancouver and we're going to go for a Brompton ride around Stanley Park. We're leaving from Canada Place. On our ride, we're going to point out all of the touristy spots. After our gentle bike race, we thought we'd do a little bit of relaxing in Vancouver and take the Brompton for a nice little ride off of the road where we're not stressed out by traffic and we could safely take our chariot and our daughter. So, we thought we'd actually start inside the Pan Pacific Hotel at Canada Place. This is where Charles and Diana spent their honeymoon in 1981. It can get quite busy here, with people boarding and leaving cruise ships, mostly heading to Alaska. There were lots of them. Apparently, it's busiest at the weekends, when you get really big ships. For those of you who like continuity, please switch it off now. It actually took us 5 rides around Stanley Park perimeter to cobble this together. The first 2 times we did it with the Chariot in tow, but I may have forgotten to press record on at least one of them. Whoops. So we went round again without the Chariot. We left it in real time though, to give you an idea of how long it will take you and how far apart the attractions are. The cycle path around the seawall starts just here. The first one we go past is the drop. It's a big drop of water. Well, it's actually not water. It's a blue sculpture. It's 20 metres high. You may notice there are not many people around. That's because we went between 7 and 8 in the morning, as it gets very busy later. Just to our right there's a lift down to the seaplane terminal. I really could spend hours, and I think I did, watching them take off and land. They're just amazing. Just to the left, I promise I'll point in a second, maybe that's a bit late, is the Olympic Plaza where the torch was burning for the Winter Olympics in 2010. Here is a really nice artistic weather vane. This man running around the edge of the seawall is trying to emulate Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey. The opening scene of him running is set in Seattle, but actually it was filmed here. This whole area, the marina / harbour, is called Coal Harbour. In the harbour, you can see some unusual houseboats. They look like houses, but they're boats. This is where we'll be stopping for breakfast at the end of our ride. Not inside the van I'm pointing at, but at the cafe across the street. This is the West End Hotel, where Howard Hughes, at that time one of the richest men in the world, spent 4 months without actually being seen. I guess it is quite a big hotel, and I'm not sure which room it was, although I think it could have been the whole of the top floor, but I might be getting that confused with some other place or someone else. I am really sorry, my pointing isn't very accurate. I was concentrating on not running over dogs, pedestrians, and going the right way, which is always a challenge for me. I'm good at getting lost. And, of course, remembering to ride on the right or the wrong side, depending on how you look at it, of the road or the path. Most of the route has a segregated cycle and walking paths. That's most of it. The park itself has, for bikes, a one-way system.
From here, it's one way, but it is great to get out early because it does get a bit congested. But remember, you need to go slowly and respect others. And this is Vancouver Rowing Club. It's got a great view over the city, and you can see them practicing in the evenings.
As you can see, there are some stunning views across the city from the harbour seawall. That was the sailing club. My point is getting a bit late when I just put my head down and ride.
Right up.
Just off the path is the totem poles. Again, it is awesome to get here early if you want to see them. This is Hallelujah Point. Well, actually, it's over there. It's in commemoration of the work that the Salvation Army did on Vancouver. And here is Harry Winston Jerome. Well, actually a statue of him. He has a collection of world records. The 100 yards, 100 metres, the 100 yards again, a 4x110 relay, and 60 yards and 100 yards as well. Well, excellent. And here is the 9 o'clock cannon. It isn't trying to blow up the cruise ship every night. It's so that they can set the time to know that it's 9 o'clock. This is Brompton Point Lighthouse. It's a lighthouse. This is a very large pile of sulphur. It's actually really important because the yellow inspired the yellow in Brilliant Bike's logo.
There's a new sign. I'm not sure why I pointed it out, but I kind of quite liked it, and it's new. There's a lot of wildlife, marine life, around the seawall. Apparently I missed a seal here on the first time around. I was just pedalling. There's also lots of sea stars, or starfish, and loads of herons.
And here a little bit of the UK. We've got an oval and pavilion. But I don't think cricket's a massive game in Canada. I might be wrong. I seem to be seeing much more rodeos on the television. We kept calling her the mermaid, but she's a girl in a wetsuit. And this is like a figurehead from a boat that was used to take comics to the Orient for 30 years, from 1891 to 1922. If you're in need of refreshment, and as early as we are, there's a refreshment station there. There's also the aquarium road. And throughout the park, there's lots of spots.
There are a couple of points where you need to get off and walk, so as not to run over pedestrians. Not so easy with a trailer in tow. This is the first one, by the aquarium, toilets, and the children's water play park. It even has a changing room. The park wardens patrol regularly, especially stopping smoking, as they don't want the park burning down. Neither do we. It's a completely non-smoking park, apart from the car exhaust layers. There is a lot of wildlife, mostly birds, to point out. Or maybe it was the view across to North Vancouver. the other side of Lionsgate Bridge. Here is the second get off and walk point, just after passing under Lionsgate Bridge. I had to be persuaded to get off. Sorry, we're not as polite as the Canadians, the most friendly people in the world.
Here is Lionsgate Bridge.
The sign says, warning, danger of falling rocks. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think that worked, because none of them fell down. Maybe that's why you need to walk, in case the vibrations move them free. Obviously, the Canadians are so polite, they need a sign to remind the rest of us to try and do a little bit better. Just outside the harbour are container ships waiting to load and unload. It's cheaper for them to wait out there than it is to wait in port.
And behind those ships, waiting to unload or load their cargo, is Vancouver Island, where we spent 7 days racing on our mountain bikes. This is Swish Rock. Indian legend tells us this 20-foot high pinnacle of rock stands as an imperishable monument to Scalish of the Unsung Fish, who was turned to stone as a transformer, rewarding him for his unselfishness.
The seawall seems quite popular with people filming. It's not just us. This is walking point number 3, and the hardest to negotiate with the trailer. I'm sorry, another few scratches.
This is Third Beach, where you can eat if you're still hungry. You can go swimming, and there is also a lifeguard. And it is beautiful. If, like me, you are always lost, you might take up the popular Vancouver pastime of stacking stones up so that you know where you've been and how to get home.
You can tell we're getting towards the end of the seawall now as the city view starts to appear again.
And here is the Lido, just by Second Beach. It's huge. And if you need a wee, there's a toilet and changing facilities. If the occupant of your chariot spends the entire ride shouting play park, you can find one just there.
Yes, I always think I'm taller than I am going under bridges.
This is rhododendron garden. It's kind of pretty, and there's rhododendrons and a sprinkler. And this sign says it's Lost Lagoon. It's not lost anymore, we found it. Maybe it should be called the Was Lost Lagoon.
This is really the only small hill on the entire ride.
Massive rhubarb. I hope you're hungry. And here is the was lost lagoon. It now really has been found.
Oh, more public toilets, in case you need to go again. This is the end of the Stanley Park loop. We're now retracing our steps back to breakfast. I'm a little bit peckish.
And now you know why the number plates have beautiful British Columbia on them. It's beautiful. This is Canada Place, where we started out, with all of the cruise ships and the lovely big white tents.
This was the Olympic torch bearer. It's not an Olympic torch bearer, is it?
And there's a crooked building. There's quite a few. This is the West End, where Howard Hughes apparently stayed 6 months or a year on the top floor and no one saw him.